I'm really excited today for Josh's conversation because Smart AC and Breezy are both very passionate about helping HVAC business owners build a stronger, stickier membership program, right? So Josh is a two-time entrepreneur in the home services industry. His first company, which he can tell you a little bit more about today, scaled to 50 million in annual revenue. And today he's the founder and CEO of Smart AC, where he leads a team of 50 on a mission to transform the homeowner contractor relationship. What makes Josh really awesome is not just a track record for growth, but his deep understanding of homeowner psychology. He understands things like why customers buy, why they stay loyal, and how contractors can turn one-time calls into long-term relationships. So if you'd like to chat with Josh's team about how they can help you create 2 to 3 more times memberships and retain over 95% of those members, you can scan that QR code that you see on the screen today or at any time. I just can't think of anybody better to join us today for this HVAC Insider Series Masterclass. So help me welcome Josh Teagle to the show. Josh, thanks for being here, my friend.
Thanks, CJ. Appreciate you having me.
Absolutely. Again, so we noticed that Stroh's poster behind you. Tell us a little bit about your history in HVAC and the trades in Texas, and kind of like what led you to start Smart AC.
From Texas, grew up in Houston. Actually, one clarification: I did build a $50 million business selling to homeowners, but it was actually in outdoor living, not HVAC. So all of my first 15 years or so of experience was selling to homeowners in the home. It's the same Miss Jones. So my first company was that business, like you said, built to 50 million, it like 1,300 backyards a year. And then had the opportunity to get into technology in the air conditioning space. Originally made a product that saved energy on air conditioning, and we built some data capabilities into that product. And it became really obvious that the whole market, whether it was retail energy providers we were talking to at the time, but then mostly HVAC contractors, really valued the data. And so we pivoted what we were working on with 8 to 10 people at the time, built out Smart AC, the whole platform, software, hardware, and everything in stealth mode, and then kind of launched to the world about 3.5 years ago. So everything we do at Smart AC is to help contractors sell to homeowners. So my background in that buying psychology with homeowners is very relevant. And obviously now we're really focused on memberships. It's the best application of the technology we built, and has really been purpose built around acquiring ongoing relationships in the trades. And historically, that's been done through memberships. We didn't see a need to change that, but we did want to be able to give contractors more tools in their arsenal to have better ways of acquiring long-term relationships by offering more things to different buying personas. I believe the main reason that 20% was kind of the industry average sign up rate on memberships is because it hasn't changed in 30, 40 years. And so we're, on a mission to give contractors more opportunity to gain loyal relationships and keep them long term.
Yeah, I love that so much. And I couldn't agree more. Maintenance programs are obviously the lifeblood of the HVAC industry. And, here at Breezy, that's our mission to eliminate the off season, right? And that's a really, really big goal, right? That's a really big, audacious, hairy BHAG, right? Big, hairy, audacious goal. And it's easier said than done, but, really investing in tools and software and automations that can help us create longer term relationships with homeowners is going to help us go back to the well and keep our acquisition costs down and really, build those, the valuable relationships for folks. So tell us a little bit about what the average membership program looks like. I heard you say 20%, kind of sign up data, but like, what does the average HVAC shop look like in terms of sign up rate, churn rate, lead cost, stuff like that?
Yeah, so most memberships are going to be like the traditional style, like 2 visits to the house a year. If we're just thinking about HVAC, if they do plumbing and electrical, there could be some other ones. That's generally at the $20 to $30 a month price point. And generally, they're having a sign up rate, I would say, between 15 and 30%. You'll see some variation. I would say the main way that, and this is something we had to dig into pretty deeply, the main way that they get people to sign up is offering day one discounts. That's a really common thing. It actually really works well to increase signups, but the problem is on date, if they sign, if the when you're trying to optimize conversion and retention, the reason they sign up matters, right? And if the reason they sign up was the day one discount, then on day two, the majority of the reason they signed up is gone, right? And that's why it's very common to see, even when you have a higher sign up rate, 30, 35, 40%, the churn rate is very high. The retention's, very low, maybe in the 50 to 70% annual retention. And that just means you're having to go out and get new members all the time because they're just, there's a hole in the bucket, right? Um, so that's pretty standard. I would say 20, 15 to 30% conversion and then retention in the 50 to 75%. We've certainly come across some people doing a really good job with the old methods that might be better metrics, but that's kind of the averages we see.
Yeah, that's pretty much across the board what we're experiencing too, over here at Breezy. And so, I mean, you mentioned it, right? There's plumbers, there's electricians, home services is so vast, right? Roofers, locksmiths, the list goes on, and they're all very nuanced solutions, right? And it's like, what do you feel like? Do you see, kind of the danger of generic home service software that really don't help HVAC specifically build those retention tools?
Well, I think any of the softwares out there, it's very important that they have a lot of deep experience understanding how contracting businesses work. And then to the extent that they touch the homeowner relationship and that UX and UI and all of that, then it's very important they understand where the homeowner is coming from as well. Sometimes the FSMs don't do much of that other than maybe texting or something like that. And that's really where we try to play is like an extension of the FSM to optimize the homeowner experience, right? So consumer apps that are white labeled, and then really just thinking about it from the homeowner's perspective, like how would I want to engage with a contractor? What's the way that's the best experience for me? I mean, our mission is to perfect the experience of home comfort. Obviously, when we go to market through contractors, they're the paying customer in most situations, and so the experience of the homeowner with the contractor being great is what leads to that retention, which is such a key metric, of course.
Absolutely. Um, Missed opportunities, right? Thinking about ongoing relationships versus kind of the transactional approach, right? And I think that that's kind of the thesis of today's conversation, right? How do we go from a transaction, a one-time thing, to more of a relationship building process? So what happens, do you think, to an HVAC contractor's business when they don't prioritize those ongoing relationships with homeowners?
Well, it really to use a software kind of term that's applicable here, it's really the customer lifetime value, right? So if you're going to spend, Ara up on stage at Pantheon last week ran like the average calcs of like, thousands of customers and how much it actually cost them in labor and in spend on advertising to get an opportunity, right? And so if you're having to take all of those costs and make it work with just a one-time ticket, that can work and it actually does work. But if you can make all of those new repeat business tickets in the future be without having that additional $500 was the number he had, then the economics of every subsequent call are much better. And of course, the lifetime value of that customer relationship skyrockets. I mean, like order of magnitude over 10, 15 years. Um, and so, there's a lot of talk about contractors being too reliant on Google, and the reason for that is sure, use advertising to win a customer, but don't have to go back and win new customers every single year over and over again, right? Uh,
Right.
Obviously, in business models, when you have a recurring revenue coming from anything, whether it's just repeat business or any recurring relationship with monthly billing or anything like that, that's really where the value is, so that you can continue to stack that revenue that's coming in without having to have the CAC, the customer acquisition cost, over and over and over again.
Yeah, that's really great insight. And I appreciate you bringing up Pantheon because we're going to dig into that a little bit later.